when your fight fits in an Instagram story, in an Instagram post, and you came out on the losing side of it, my guy, that's it.
Yes, people, I am Savage Dan.
I'm Paulie Malignaggi.
You are watching Mouthpiece, the official boxer podcast. Jake Paul seems to be absolutely everywhere right now. I don't know, it doesn't matter what I'm putting on, he's everywhere. Yeah. We are hearing that he's being praised highly and rated by his sparring partners, and apparently he has some genuine and real boxing ability.
Yeah, I'm gonna be straight as I always am, because I've not criticized Jake Paul till now, because I feel like he deserves the money that he's getting, because if you put on a show and you put the butts in the seats and you get the sales, and you deserve to make that money. That's just the way it works. So I don't think anybody should hate on that. So while I've defended him, at this point I'm also going to, probably expose some other things too. The sparring partner's telling you how good he is. It's probably just for promotion. All right? It's probably just for them also, the sparring partners themselves. The sparring partners are world-class fighters, world championship fighters, and they're looking to piggyback off some marketing if they can spar this guy who has tons of views and everything he does. So if you and they probably have a good relationship. Most of my sparring partners, we always have good relationships. You try to kill each other and then sparring, but you always have a good relationship. So you end up becoming cool. And when you become cool with somebody and he's got a little bit of a name, you're gonna obviously overcompensate them in the media if this situation arises. And so for me, Jake Paul's probably decent. Listen, bro, the guy's been boxing 2 years. He can't. It's beyond recognition what he probably really can do and what people think he can do. I understand him as everything. I understand that today that's all people go with is the perception instead of the reality. So they've in reality made the perception turn into the reality at this point. But I don't know, bro. The guy's been boxing 2 years. I still haven't seen enough of him fight a guy who knows how to fight enough to know if Jake Paul knows how to get from one side of the ring to the other side of the ring in proper fashion. Like if he knows how to walk like a boxer from one side of the ring to the other. That's how bad his opposition has been thus far. So let's not go over the top where we don't even know if the bell rings and Jake's in the ring by himself. If Jake knows how to get from one side of the ring to the other side of the ring without crossing his feet, without by keeping proper balance, without being front foot heavy, without all this. We don't even know that yet. That's how bad the opposition's been. So let's not overplay this either, because you're getting compliments from this kind of level fighter, but then you're fighting a guy who's not even good enough to drive my Uber. You know what I'm saying? Not even good enough. If you call him an Uber driver, like we used to call him in the old days taxi cab drivers, you're fighting, the taxi cab driver might get offended, because he's probably better than those opponents too. So I don't think you can put too much stock into fighters saying, "Oh, this guy is unbelievable. This guy's unbelievable." Listen, I think Jake's got a tremendous marketing team, very, very smart in the way they've made his progression, and really in the way they've marketed and overcompensated his accomplishments thus far. I think it's been brilliant. Even the way he is fighting a guy now who can be deemed as a fighter. He's an ex-UFC fighter, and he was an All-American wrestler. But we have an All-American wrestler who has terrible, terrible striking skills. Absolutely no striking skills at all. And you're taking away his one thing that he can do, which is the wrestling, by making him box. So I think it's been a brilliant, genius move. And also, he's got a little bit of notoriety. The problem with calling Ben Askren a fighter is you lose the privilege of being called a fighter for life when you get knocked out in less than 3 seconds in a fight. Ben Askren, I don't care what he's accomplished, is not a fighter. You cannot get knocked out in 3 seconds and ever call yourself a fighter again in your life. In your life, that's it. That is permanent, mate. That is permanent, because there's YouTube videos of you getting knocked out in 2.5. When you fit in an Instagram post, not an Instagram IG story, in an Instagram post. Forget about the story. When you're KO, when your fight fits in an Instagram story, in an Instagram post, and you came out on the losing side of it, my guy, that's it.
Yes,
that's it. That's all. You're not a fighter anymore. That's it. You're not a fighter anymore. But brilliant marketing, brilliantly done moves by Jake Paul and his team. But again, if he wins this fight, I think it's going to be overcredited. I expect him to win this fight. Again, Askren at this point cannot be called a fighter anymore. So I think Paul wins the fight. But
But it doesn't matter.
Are we buying the reality or are we buying the perception? Because now the perception and the reality is skewed here. And where does he go from there? Where does he go from there? Because at this point, you beat this guy, what you expect. Where does he go? You can't just fight a journeyman. Nobody knows a journeyman.
Here we go. We've got potentially another feud with Tommy Fury. Tyson Fury's little brother.
You really think he's gonna fight Fury?
I would love it.
I think it's just feuding.
There's something
I don't think he's gonna take that chance. I mean, Tommy's a real fighter.
There's something about
and he's not past his prime.
Jake Paul might be believing his own source here.
Yes,
he
but
may actually start to believe it.
Savage, I'm gonna tell you something. I have no doubt he's believing his own hype. I have no doubt, but he's got people around him that are gonna settle down, son. Settle down. This is where we go. Because at the end of the day, the opposition that they get for him, I mean, it's genius. It really is. It's genius. I mean, it's like you've got people out there that believe Jake Paul can compete against world-class guys. So I think the team he's got around him is genius. They're brilliant. But I'm sure those same geniuses tell him when he comes out of pocket or when he's thinking he's more than he is. Listen, bro, settle down, simmer down a little bit, simmer down now, and we're gonna get you this guy instead. We're gonna work it this way instead. So I think the Fury thing is nice for promotion. Yeah. It's nice for getting things going. I don't know that he fights that guy. I don't see it.
I don't think so. And if he does, I think it's
because the Fury name is a big deal, but you're not fighting Tyson. But you got the Fury name there, right? Yeah. But you got still a young guy who's in his prime. He's young. He's still got that young energy. I think Paul's gonna be looking to get guys he can market his name off of, or his people are gonna look to get guys they can market his name off of without being such a risk. And I think any young fighter is a risk right now, But you don't want to also get journeymen and people that are completely unknown too. So we'll see. I think they're gonna aim towards maybe more retired UFC fighters or MMA fighters who didn't have any much striking skills, and then maybe in time graduate to retired boxers. We'll see.
Yes, people. I am Savage Dan.
I'm Paulie Malignaggi.
You are watching Mouthpiece, the official boxing podcast.
We are two of the most knowledgeable, two of the most charismatic, biggest personality guys in boxing, and we are two of the coolest cats talking about the sport today.